Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you can see everything. And I had a really exciting thing to talk to you guys about. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably haven't seen this because I haven't made a video in a little bit of time, but I did want to share this with you guys. We actually reached 125,000 paid off in principal only. So that's not me tracking the interest or anything like that. That's just starting from the original 255,000 back in February of 2017 up until now. So that leaves us right up under 130,000 right now as far as our balance goes, at $129,969, which we just reached on Friday on the 15th. So super excited. I wanted to kind of make this video a motivational video and just kind of share with you guys some of my tips to stay motivated along this journey. It's really hard doing just paying off debt in general. It's really hard whether you're on, like the Dave Ramsey baby steps, which is what we follow, and you, are on baby step 0 even and trying to save $1,000, or if you're on baby step 1 where you have the $1,000, like you just finished the 1,000 or whatever, and then baby step 2 where you're paying off all your debts, smallest to largest, and then baby step 3 you're saving for your emergency fund, baby step 4 you're saving for kids' college and retirement, baby step 5, sorry, I got those mixed up. Please forgive me, guys. And then baby step 6, of course, which is what we are on right now, paying off our mortgage, and then also, of course, baby step 7 after that, where you live and give like no one else. So regardless of wherever you are, whatever step that you're in, it is extremely difficult to, one, just go against the grain. I think a lot of people underestimate like how hard it is just doing something against the norm, which I love. I mean, I don't like to be like anybody else. I like to be very different. I like anything pretty much unusual or different, I like. But it's very hard. It's hard to find that relationship between other people where you can really talk to them about it. It's hard to, when you don't have that, you don't have that connection where you're feeding off each other and having that motivation. So just trying to share with you guys some things that I do, because it is hard. Because I'm not going to lie to you, this is the hardest thing that we've ever done. It is extremely rewarding, but it's difficult. Day in and day out, just doing the grind, and just the sheer amount of time that it actually takes is hard. So definitely wanted to share with you guys some motivation, just some tips that I usually try to do. So one, we celebrate the small wins, just like hitting 125,000. Every 25,000 that we pay off, we try to do a celebration. Now it's nothing huge. It would be like dinner, and I might buy my husband a couple of things or buy myself a couple of things. We might have like a cookie cake or some type of cake. We didn't this last time, but sometimes we typically do, and then just some dinner. Nothing crazy fancy, but just something to celebrate and commemorate where we are. I think that's extremely important because it is such a large goal, and breaking it down and having those small wins, just like if you're in the baby step 2 where you're paying off your debt smallest to largest, well, when you get to your mortgage, it's just one really large debt. So trying to break that up into pieces, I think, is really important. The second thing is just continuing to look forward to whatever your, I guess, quote unquote end goal would be. So for us, it's just, having the financial freedom. I constantly look forward to and even planning our debt-free celebration. So when we do become mortgage debt-free, we will have a really big celebration, guys. I have so many different ideas in mind for that, and I'm so excited. And that motivates me, constantly thinking about it gets me excited about the future. Even though we have about 2 years to go, it still gives me that motivation and keeps me excited, just being forward thinking. I've always been a forward thinking person, but I think it's good for just everybody just to think for the future and not just necessarily live in the present moment, because that may be difficult. So that, and then, focusing on a long-term plan. So, for instance, for us, after we pay off our mortgage, we do want to get rental property, and paying those in cash. And so, I'll sit here and I'll calculate like what that looks like, what does that look like for our income in the next, 10 years? Like how many rental properties will we have? So that's a huge motivational factor as well, and just reminding myself of that freedom. There will be one day where I can choose to go to work, or I can choose what type of work I do, just so many different things in between, and I love what I do. It's a huge benefit to be able to have your own, more so have more of your own choices. The third thing is, because I don't have anybody that I know that is going through paying off their mortgage right now, at least in such a speed that we're trying to get to. I try to look for other motivational factors, so I follow several different people on Instagram, keeping up with several different people on YouTube and trying to follow their journey, even though I'm not with them. I don't really talk to a whole lot of people. It still gives me that huge motivational factor, which is part of the reason I do the bits that I do for YouTube. And something that I've noticed is it is really hard, just like I'm telling you guys, it's a long journey and it's really hard. And I've seen YouTubers over the years kind of fall off, and I feel like I've done the same. When they reach a certain goal, or maybe they just get tired of going at it, they may still be going at their financial journey, but they don't necessarily document it anymore. So I keep reminding myself how important that is to journal that and document your journey, just to have something to look back on. Let's see, what else? Having those visual reminders. So I try to keep something always in the forefront, always in my mind. On our refrigerator, I'm looking over there because that's where our refrigerator is, but we have our current number, and I've got $60,000 I would like to have as far as principal payoff for the year. Those larger wins, like when we get to paying half of our house off, which is coming up very soon. In the next couple of weeks, we'll have half of it paid off. Or getting under a certain amount, like by the end of the year, we'll be under 100,000, which is insane to me. Because we started with 255,000, to be 6 months away from being under 100,000 is pretty big deal to me, and I'm really excited about that. So just having those type of wins. Also, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of backtracking, but also in the beginning, so we started at 255, when we got up under 200, that was a big deal. When we could take off our private mortgage insurance and got to, I think 78% in value, that was a big deal. Having those type of things to look forward to as well is huge. And like I said, going back, just keeping things in the forefront, like every time I go and make dinner, I see our numbers every single time. Every time we pay off, make a payment or pay off a number, I'll always update our refrigerator. I have our debt-free numbers, or like our, I don't know what you call it, our little images, and I can show you guys in a later video on in my office, and just small little things on my phone. My screensaver is actually our, I say current number, but I haven't updated in a little while, but typically I update that so it's constantly on the forefront of my mind. So just having those small things, relating to other people, and just keeping focused, like knowing that it is gonna happen. I know people say you eat an elephant one bite at a time, but I'm always saying recently, like, I'm so tired of eating elephant, but you gotta keep on grinding, because if you don't, you're never gonna get there. And I remind myself also the feeling that we had whenever we paid off all of our consumer debt. That was the most amazing day, and sorry guys, I don't want to cry, but that was the most amazing feeling, and I cannot imagine how it's going to feel when we have our mortgage paid off. It's just going to give my family so much freedom, and I'm so excited for that. So that keeps me motivated and keeping me grinding. Yeah, I mean, our business, that's huge. Wanting rental properties and wanting to grow that business, which I do want that to turn into a full-time business at some point. So that is super exciting. So there's just so many different things to look forward to, and just constantly being forward-thinking and trying to live in the moment and enjoy these wins, like 125,000, which is crazy to me. Enjoying those things, but also being very forward-thinking, I think is huge, especially because of everything that you have to do and how long it takes. So hopefully that helps, guys. I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to, but thank you guys again so much for watching, sticking in there with me, and shout out to all of my new subscribers. I actually have, I think, like 20 new subscribers, which is huge, and thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I hope you guys are doing amazing on your journeys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.